Hello, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Sabbath. Happy Global Children's Day. I hope you are doing well. And now I'm absolutely thrilled today to talk to you about something I have experienced and something I have also learned throughout my life. And I have learned this thing and experience as well, this thing called compassion. And with the world needing more people spreading compassion, my goal here is to make more compassion champions. Today, we will explore the remarkable word of love and kindness. Before we begin, let's start with a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for gathering us today. Open our hearts to the teachings in your word as we explore the wonders of compassion. May your love shine through us as we learn to be true compassion champions, clothed in your divine love. Amen. So, I want you to imagine for a second. Imagine receiving a special call from God. So your phone just goes ding, ding, and you pick it up and God's just like, hey, what's up? And in the call, God is asking you to be a compassion champion. God is inviting you to be a compassion champion. Wouldn't that be amazing, to just get a phone call from God, to hear God's voice, and to not only that, but be invited as a compassion champion, someone who's some sort of a winner in compassion. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You'll never get that call. You'll never get the call from God inviting you to be a compassion champion. Why? Because God has already invited you. He has already called you to be a compassion champion. He already gave you the opportunity to be the compassion champion. And I feel like every one of us has experienced how it's like to be a compassion champion, how it's like to use that opportunity. Because our inspiration comes from the Bible. It's not from a call. And it comes from this beautiful verse found in Colossians 3, verse 12. And it says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Do you see how important that is? That's a beautiful reminder that we are called to wrap ourselves in garments of God's love and share it with the world. So like many champions, there are missions that we champions have to go through to be considered as champions. There will be struggles. There will be times where we don't know if the opportunity to be a champion is really an opportunity to be a champion at all. So today, we will look at the main missions we need to go through to be considered as a compassion champion. So our mission for today as compassion champions is to sprinkle kindness, like how you sprinkle a cake. You sprinkle your birthday cake. Sprinkle kindness, like how you sprinkle birthday cake. Sprinkle kindness around the world. Sprinkle kindness to your community, to your church, to your families, to your friends. Colossians 3 verse 12 guides us, saying, clothe yourselves with compassion. You don't have to look as if you are a compassion champion. You have to act as if you are a compassion champion. This verse encourages us to wear compassion as some sort of superhero cape, spreading God's love wherever we go. And this can be done easily anywhere, even from our own homes. We can give some sort of loving card, a loving message virtually. We can give someone a hug, give them a smile. or even holding the door for people. Like I see some people coming into the church. It would be great if someone would offer to open the door for them. And these things are called acts of kindness. And these small acts of kindness, people usually think may seem small and insignificant. But there's this one quote that really stood out to me that says something about this. And it says, a small ripple can gain momentum and build a current that is insurmountable. So kids, no matter how small we are, our actions, no matter your age, our actions can truly have an effect to the world. It has that effect to the people around you, to your surroundings. And I'd like to honorably mention, have you guys watched this movie called Pay It Forward? This movie, Pay It Forward. And if you haven't, I'll explain it to you. It's a young kiddo named Trevor. So this young kiddo named Trevor, right? Trevor has a plan. And the plan is called Pay It Forward. I guess you can see the message here. Pay It Forward. So it's where a recipient of a favor doesn't pay it back. He doesn't pay it back to the person he owes a favor, but he pays a favor for three others rather than, paying it back. So for example, me, if someone does a favor to me, I'm like, no, don't pay it back. Just spread kindness to 3 people and tell those 3 people to do the same thing. And there goes some kind of chain, There's an effect to this plan. And the plan works. And the plan is just like spreading kindness and kindness and kindness until the whole world will be filled with kindness. That's how much our actions, that's how much small acts of kindness can make an impact to our world. By doing small acts of kindness, we can spread the love of God to many people. We can form a tree of good deeds, a growing tree of good deeds. So I want you to try to imagine now. Let's try to imagine how an act of kindness can change people. I want you to now imagine a jar. And that jar represents kindness. And you are now grabbing that jar. You look at that jar, and I want you to think of acts of kindness that you can put inside that jar. What acts of kindness that you can put inside a jar? Can it fit inside? Do you think you can execute these small acts of kindness? For example, I can put inside shaking hands to someone and saying Happy Sabbath. I can put offering a warm smile. I can put saying I love you to my dad. I can put saying thank you to my teachers who have educated me in process. I can put many small acts of kindness into this jar. Think about it. Small acts of kindness that you can execute this week, that you can execute today, that you can execute right now. Those acts of kindness in a jar. Can you do it? Let's be kindness superheroes. Let's show that we are clothed in God's love. Let's explore the power of compassion now. Let's explore it. I want to explore it. Let's explore it. Colossians 3 verse 12, the important memory verse. Colossians 3 verse 12 inspires us to be clothed. That's something I have been emphasizing ever since. We clothed with humility, clothed with gentleness, clothed with patience. Imagine putting on a superhero cape made of these qualities. Imagine showing it, and imagine people knowing that you are made of these qualities. Because that's the compassion champions. That's us. And we should show that we are made of humility, gentleness, patience, and most importantly, compassion. Now I want to reflect on this story, and I feel like you guys have heard it before. This story is found in Luke 10, 30, verse 37. 30 to 37. Luke 10, verse 30 to 37. And it's called the Good Samaritan. And Jesus heavily emphasizes this story because it teaches us about helping others in need. The story goes that there was this guy, and this guy, he was walking down the road, getting to whatever destination he wanted to go. And then, momentarily, some not-so-friendly guys came. And the not-so-friendly guys, you know what they did? They jumped the guy. They hurted him, and they stole his stuff, and they left. He was left injured on the side of the road. That's not a good day, right? You're just going to wherever you want to go, and then you get jumped by some guys. That's very unfortunate. That's very pity, right? So, as he was injured, laying on the side of the road, he was in desperate need of help. And then a priest walks by, The priest walks by and he notices this guy. He notices him. He looks at him. And you know what he did? You'd think, well, the guy is obviously injured. The priest is going to help this guy. But no, the priest doesn't. Like, seriously? The priest just walks past by like if he has some kind of mission or something. Like if he had something to do that was more important than this guy's needs. Then momentarily, a Levite, a helper guy walked by. You'd think, okay, second time does the charm. This guy is going to help the guy on the side of the road. But no, same thing. He just walks past by as if his existence wasn't there. As if he was never there in the first place. He just walks past by. Then, as time does its job, right? As time flies by, a Samaritan comes by. And that's the superhero part, guys. That's the superhero part. Because this Samaritan wasn't just some ordinary Samaritan. This Samaritan was a good Samaritan. How? Why? Because this Samaritan, no matter the grudges as Samaritan and this guy, no matter if they were strangers, no matter if they weren't even friends at all, he just put that aside. He didn't care about that. He was like, in my eyes, this man is a man, and he needs help, and I am going to help this man. I am going to be sensitive to his needs. You know what he did? He ran to him, he rushed to him, and he aided him. He got some oil, he got some wine, he treated his wounds. He put him on his donkey and took him to a safe place. Imagine that, doing that for just a stranger. You might think, well, maybe some other guy would help him, but you know what? He took the opportunity to be compassionate. And then the next day, after one night, the next day he comes back to the safe place where the guy that was injured was resting in. He went to the innkeeper, right? And he was like, take care of him. And if it costs more, I'll pay you back. He gives him the money and he left. And that was it. Imagine doing such an act. Jesus told this story to teach us, be a hero like a good Samaritan, like the Good Samaritan. Be sensitive to others' needs. And, right now it's easily said than being done. It might just go through your mind and you're like, okay, be sensitive to others' needs. But will you actually do that? Can you guarantee that you will do that? Because what's important is not that you understand. What's more important is that you actually do what you understood. The Samaritan demonstrated compassion to a stranger. And from that action alone, it reminds us that love shows no boundaries. And since God's love shows no boundaries, it makes sense for us as Christ followers to show our love has no boundaries. Because if our God's love has no boundaries, then our love should have no boundaries. No matter if the person was someone you hate, no matter the person's gender, age, race, you have to show compassion. Because in the eyes of God, we are man. We are sinners. And you see, as compassion champions, we learn that to be one, we don't need big actions. I already told you before, small acts of kindness can already do the job. All we need to do is to spread the love. Okay? That's all we need to do is to spread the love. Anywhere, anytime, anyone. Just spread it. Show that you are what? That you are clothed in gentleness. You are clothed in humility. You are clothed in patience. And you are clothed in compassion. Let's make a commitment to be compassion champions every day. Okay? Make a commitment. Make a commitment from now on. You are a compassion champion. I'm telling you. You are a compassion champion. And your goal, whether you're a grown-up or a kid, your goal is to make a difference by showing love and kindness to others anywhere, anytime, and anywho. Now, before I end this, I will call on the KID participants to sing their appeal song. Amen.